Hey, Mr. Stein here today to talk about graphing lines. Okay, so I'm going to show you 4 quick examples on how to graph it by hand, as well as a quick how-to on how to go ahead and graph lines on your graphing calculator. Let's begin. All right, so graphing lines by hand, there's a couple things you're going to want to remember, okay? So first of all, the equation that you're dealing with should be written in what's called y equals mx plus b form, okay? Y equals mx plus b stands for y equals m being the slope, x plus b being the y-intercept, okay? So whatever number's sticking out front of x, that's your slope, and whatever number that's all lonely by itself on the side, that is your y-intercept, okay? What I do first is plot the y-intercept, okay? So if you look at this equation, y equals 2/3 x minus 1, the minus 1 is my y-intercept, okay? Where my line crosses the y-axis, okay? So I'm going to go to -1 on the y-axis and plot a point. All right, I'm going to do that now. All right, next what I'm going to do is I'm going to plot some more points on this line. To do that, I'm going to need to use the slope information, okay? The slope of this line, which is the number attached to the x, is 2/3, okay? If you remember, what slope is rise over run, okay? And the rise over run is just a way of us knowing how steep or not steep a line is, okay? Number on top is how much up you're going if it's positive, or how down it's going if it's negative. And then a run will be how far you're running to the right, okay? You're always going to want to run your lines to the right. That's a common theme here. So let's go ahead and plot the next point. So -1 is our y-intercept, 2/3 is our rise over run. So rise is going to be 2, so I'm going to go up 2 from the y-intercept. Again, we're going from the y-intercept, okay? And then going up 2 over to the right, always go to the right, 3, all right? So I'm going to plot my second point there, all right? The next point, we're just going to repeat that process from the last point that we drew. We're going to take our pencil and go up 2 again, over 3, and that is where our next point is, okay? Now, for the most part, all you need is 2 or 3 points and you're pretty much done, but if you are really like cautious like me, I can't draw lines very well, go back to your y-intercept and then just go in the opposite direction, meaning if you want to go to the left, well, run to the left, but change the way you're moving the rise, okay? You're not going to go up 2 and left 3 because then you're going to make a V. You want to continue your line, so you're going to want to make sure your points match that line, okay? So I'm going to go down 2, over 3 if I'm going the opposite direction, all right? And then for the most part, all you have left to do is just draw that line in, okay? So we'll draw the line in, and for the most part, that is how you graph a line by hand, okay? Let's go ahead and take a look at another example. I said another example. Another example. All right. So step number 1, y-intercept. Y-intercept is 2. Okay, so I'm going to go to the y-axis and say my line crosses at y equals 2. I'll put a dot there. Okay. From this dot, I'm going to move the way the slope says. Slope says -3. Now, -3 is a whole number. I don't like whole numbers for rise over run because I like fractions for slopes. So I'm going to make this a fraction. It's going to be -3 over 1. So from the y-intercept, my rise says I need to go down 3, which is my up and down movement. It says down 3, and then over 1. Always, again, run to the right when you're plotting these points, okay? I'm going to continue that down my paper until I feel like I have enough points. Again, if I want to go in the opposite direction, instead of going down 3, I'm going to go up 3, and then just change the direction I'm moving, so to the left 1, all right? And then once I draw my points, I am ready to draw my line, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that now. I'm going to graph my line, and there is example number 2, a line with a negative slope, okay? Let's go on to the next one, all right? The next one, or the next problem that we're going to be doing, is x equals -3. X equals -3 is weird, and it's a weird example because there is no slope-intercept form, okay? There's 2 other types of lines that I want you to know how to do, and those are both the horizontal line and the vertical line, okay? Now, x equals -3 is a vertical line at -3, okay? So really, when you see x equals any number, you're just, for the most part, just drawing a vertical line, okay? So x equals -3, you're going to go to x, and you're going to find that -3, and then just draw a vertical line, okay? Well, as vertical as you can make it. Obviously, mine isn't as vertical as I would like, okay? After that, for the most part, you're done, okay? Well, why is it a vertical line for the most part. This line, no matter where you're at, no matter where you're at on this line, x is always going to be -3, hence why it's vertical. Okay. Now the last example is going to be, you guessed it, a horizontal line. And anytime you have a variable y equals a number, that's just going to be a horizontal line wherever that number is on the y-axis. Okay. So y equals 4. I'm going to go ahead up to y equals 4. Say, hey, there's y equals 4 on this page. Whoopsies. And I'm going to go ahead and draw my point in there, okay? And then for the most part, all I have to do is just draw that horizontal line there, and I am done, okay? Just make sure, again, that you are putting arrows on both sides, meaning that it continues on both ways, all right? So that's how you, for the most part, go ahead and graph lines using it by hand. That's the by hand method. I just wanted to quickly remind you on how you can do this on a calculator. You're going to go over to the calculator. You're going to go ahead and hit a graph. From there, you're just going to go ahead and type in the line. Like, for example, the first thing that we had was, I believe, 2/3 x. So I'm just going to go ahead and say 2/3, hit x. And then I think it was just -1. It really doesn't matter. It could be whatever you want. And then for the most part, it'll graph your line. Okay, so if you need to graph a line on a calculator, that is a great way of doing it. All right, so hopefully that helped. If you have any questions, call me on over in class. Have a great day. See you later. Bye.